joins us now. Jim Allen, correspondent Rob Ruby is
Good afternoon, this is Ryan Lewis with your 90.3 WESS News Brief for Thursday, November 14th. The time now is 2 o'clock. According to the Pocono Record, the Pocono Mountain School District is considering adding metal detectors in their schools. The school board members had a meeting last week about a new policy about how the metal detectors could be implemented. The reasoning the school looks to add the metal detectors is because of last year's tragic event in Newtown, Connecticut, when an armed man made his way into the school and took the lives of the small children in the school. Board member Ed Mayotte stated, "As unfortunate as it is, it's become, if not a weekly occurrence, almost a daily occurrence," when asked about school shootings. Following the proposal of metal detectors in the school, the district is proposing a pat-down search if someone happens to set off one of the alarms and it cannot be identified what triggered the alarm. According to the Philadelphia Inquirer, Chester County of Pennsylvania will hold a homeless hunger and awareness event in the upcoming week as part of the county's participation in the National Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week starting today. The goal of the event is to show people that the homeless problem is everywhere you look, even in one of the wealthiest counties in the state of Pennsylvania. According to officials in Chester County, every day 70,000 people aren't able to gain enough food for their needs. More than 600 people receive help from the government for homeless services, and 13,000 children go to bed hungry every night. Today marks the start of the charity event to help fight the battle of hunger and homelessness. As part of the event, students will have a sleep out on Westchester University's campus to support the cause. According to CNN.com, there was yet another school shooting on Tuesday afternoon around the area of Brashier High School in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The shots were fired directed at a random group of 3 individuals leaving the school on Tuesday afternoon. According to Pittsburgh police spokeswoman Diane Richards, one of the students got shot in the neck and shoulder, another was grazed by a bullet in his head, and the other was hit in his leg and foot. Authorities said that the students were suddenly approached by at least one gunman that appeared from out in the woods and opened fire at the students who were heading to their cars to go home. 2 of the victims were able to run back to the school and tell authorities about what had happened, while the other was still in too bad of condition to move. Richards thinks that the shooting could have been in relation to a prior event, but is unclear at this time. At this time, officials in the area have 6 persons of interest in custody that have a connection with the shooting of the 3 students. Richards claims that the 6 people being questioned were taken into custody from a nearby house of where the shooting occurred, and the shooting could also be related to drug dealing. One of the hospital workers said that one of the targets that were shot is in stable condition and the injuries of the others were not life-threatening. According to CNN.com, Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, people are still facing hunger issues and even struggle to survive, even after the efforts to restore homes and giving people food and shelter. The storm destroyed some 80,000 homes that put more than 582,000 people homeless and hungry. Despite the help that is still en route to the islands, the desperation is increasing and is more serious than people thought. While some of the relief organizations have said that they delivered aid to some of the victims, CNN crews report that little to none organization relief effort is in effect. UNICEF spokesman Christopher DeBono stated, "I don't think that's anyone's fault. I think it's the geography of the devastation," when asked about the relief efforts. According to ESPN.com, tonight Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts travel to Tennessee to take on Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Titans. The Titans look to bounce back from a loss last week to the Jacksonville Jaguars, giving them their first win of the season. The Colts are also coming off an embarrassing loss in front of their home crowd against the St. Louis Rams, who now have 4 wins on the season. Despite the season-ending injury to Colts wide receiver Reggie Wayne, Andrew Luck continues to impress with hitting his young receivers and recently acquired running back Trent Richardson to have an overall record of 6-3. Both teams try to move up in their division standings and make a name for themselves with the playoffs just around the corner. According to the Huffington Post, rapper Eminem's new album, MMLP2, that just came out last Tuesday, has hit the #1 spot in album sales. In the first week of sales, the album sold 792,000 copies, which is the second highest debut sales week for any 2013 album behind Justin Timberlake's The 2020 Experience, which was released in March of this year. With this album topping the charts, it is Eminem's 7th #1 album in his career and his most successful album in recent years. Eminem stated, "When I started recording this album, a lot of songs that I would play for people they were saying it reminded them of that era. When asked about why he made this album seem like a sequel to the original MMLP album that came out in March of 2000. He said he didn't want to call it a sequel because it is a different period in his life." In ESU news, tomorrow night in Dansbury Commons, during late night hours, there will be a DJ dance party for students, and on Saturday night at 10 o'clock, there will be a Game-O-Rama event for students to attend as well. The ESU men's basketball team won their second game of the season Tuesday night at Kohler Fieldhouse, dominating their opponent 106-58 in what seemed to be an easy win. The Warriors had 6 players scoring in double figures in the home opener against Penn State University Lehigh Valley. On Saturday night at 6 o'clock, the women's basketball team opens their season at home against Holy Family in the Kohler Fieldhouse. Local weather brought to you by the Weather Channel. Today is sunny with a high of 49 and a low of 28. Local traffic brought to you by Google Maps. Traffic is moving fast on 80 and east and westbound with slow patches around the Stroudsburg and Arlington Heights areas. This has been Ryan Lewis with your 90.3 WESS News Brief, and now back to the BBC.